it's Erica back on the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel, and today we're going to do some ink blending with the Uncharted Mariner and Salvage Patina, and also with this brand new Mosaic Maze stencil. So this one has got quite a kind of strong, bold pattern. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go kind of masculine-y today. I don't really know if it's still considered masculine because I love blue and obviously I'm a girl, but you know what. So I'm using some post-it tape here, and what I've done is I've taped it to the back of my cardstock, and then I have placed the stencil on top and pressed down into the stickiness so that the stencil will stay in place. And then I'm going to start with my Salvage Patina. I always recommend that you start with the lightest color if you're planning on using a couple of colors, because you can add more color to a lighter space, but you cannot really that well take away color from a darker space. So a little top tip from me to you. You probably know this already, but you know what? Let's just go with it. So originally my idea here was to do Salvage Patina on the left and the right, and then have this kind of bold strip of Uncharted Mariner in the middle. But then I was like, maybe I need to spread the color love a little bit more. So I started with my Uncharted Mariner, and then I did actually remember to grab my little finger saver before I went in with the Uncharted Mariner, because it's a lot darker and bluer, so you get a little bit more stained if you put your fingers in there. And also, I don't know about you, but I have really dry hands occasionally. Like either I have really oily like fingerprints, so my fingers are really oily, but the tops of my hands are so dry, so it's always a constant struggle to keep them hydrated, to kind of look nice for videos, and then also to not mess up my project, because you know, we don't want that, do we? So here I decided to kind of go over the end that I'd already done with Salvage Patina to bring in that Uncharted Mariner. So I actually ended up with 4 strips of color to kind of make a, you know, a pattern. I am making so much sense today. Woohoo! So the idea basically was that I wanted the pattern, but in different colors, to kind of just make it a little bit fun and flirty. And I love how this turned out. I mean, look at that. It's so fun. And this will work in any, like with any color. But I just wanted to add a little bit of funness, and something that I like doing and that I'm always looking for is like, how can I, you know, up my designs without spending a huge amount of money? Because I mean, I don't mind spending good money on good tools and things that are going to help me with my crafts. Like my trimmer is just gone or broken, so I'm going to have to buy a new one of those, and goodness knows how much that's going to cost. But because I've been saving myself some pretty pennies, along with some like craft tips and tricks, like my little finger saver, which is literally just a strip of acetate and a bit of post-it tape. You can use washi tape or whatever you want, just to, you know, it's only so that you can actually see where it is on your desk, because acetate is obviously clear and see-through, and I don't know if you have the same problem I do, but I sometimes put something down and I know it's to my left, I look to my left and I cannot see it. Like it's one of those things where it's so bizarre. I don't know how it happens or why it happens, but it happens. So I thought I'm gonna make my little sort of tools visible so that I can see them really well. But here, what I'm doing is I'm going in with a Posca pen, and it's basically kind of like a gel roll pen. I have not had great success with gel roll pens, so I decided to try a Posca pen after I tried it from a friend, and I've had much better results with those. So I have added some detail to this first panel, and because I'm a lunatic who cannot stop with just one panel, I made a second one. And this one, I decided I did it like on an angle to kind of just change things up a little bit. But then I did the same thing. I added some details with the Posca pen, but on this one, instead of adding it in the corners, I added it onto the ends of each one of those patterns. And then I'm going to finish this off super simple with a strip of gold cardstock. This one happens to be from Altenew, but you could use any gold cardstock that you have. It's just to kind of clean up that line between the white space and the stenciled space. So then what we're going to do is we're going to turn this to its side, and then we're going to use the grid mat to put this on so that it's straight according to like both the pattern and the grid mat. And then we're going to trim this off, so like quick snip 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 on each side, and you will have a card base ready for a sentiment. So I decided to use a really simple sentiment from the Loving Heart stamp set. And it says, "Your kindness is contagious." And even, actually, this is quite lucky that I used a MISTI, because my ink pad, this is the Blackout Detail ink from Ink on 3, it needs re-inking pretty badly. So I ended up having to stamp this 3 times, but thanks to the MISTI, you can't tell. So yeah, it came out pretty great. But then I thought, you know what? I gotta use this one as well. I am gonna make an effort to actually use the things I stencil and die cut and, you know, color and all that. So I decided, you know what? We're gonna do something here. We're just gonna cut out birthday with, this is from the Slimline birthday tag. It's actually a tag die. So you get a tag and the big word birthday. They fit perfectly together. So I'm just going to cut this straight out of the panel, and then we're going to make sure that we keep all the little bitty bits. So you want to be really careful when you lift this up and try to keep all of the pieces together. Now, of course, you don't have to stick them back in, because the design that I'm going to do is actually, we're not going to add all these 3 pieces, or the 3 pieces, the smaller 3 pieces, but do you know what I mean? We're going to have the big piece around, and then we're going to have the birthday piece separate, and this actually going to be, we're going to do 3 cards with today. So I decided while I had the tag die out, I cut out another view, because who doesn't like a bit of dimension and texture? So we're going to have at least 3 of these birthdays that we are going to glue together, so that we create this nice firm base for our card, or our sentiment even. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use one onto the panel that we cut the actual birthday out of. We're going to add a white one to that one. And then, so this is called an Eclipse card. I don't know if it's actually still called an Eclipse card if you don't add the top layer to it. But let's go for a white Eclipse. I'm probably making up new terms here, left, right, and center, but you know what, just bear with me. I will explain it all in the end. So here, because when I put all of the pieces back together, I am poking carefully out the sort of the negative bits, because we're going to need those on the card that we are using the big piece on. So separate everything carefully, make sure to keep an eye out on any flying bits. And then on this one here, so I'm going to, on my card base, my stencil piece is a little bit bigger than my card base, which is actually better than if it's a little bit smaller. So we're going to add a lot of double-sided tape to this, and there was a little strip in the middle there, so I'm actually going to cut thin strips of the tape and add those in the middle, so that basically the entire card base is covered with double-sided tape. And then, once you peeled off the backing, of course, you take your panel, and we're going to be very careful here. If you are nervous about adding this, what you can do is you can add a thin layer of liquid adhesive as well, because then you'll have a little bit of extra time to just kind of finagle your piece in place. And then you press it down, and we're going to look at the back. See, we need to trim this off a little bit. But then we are going to add in one of these sort of layered up birthday sentiments into the holes here. So we're going to have a white birthday adding in here, and then in the little bits, because we've added double-sided tape to the whole card base, we just need to puzzle the little pieces back into place, and it should be reasonably easy, especially if you poke them out while your panel is on the floor, and then you try to keep them in that spot. It's then as easy as pie or ABCs to just pop the coordinating piece into the right spot, so to say. And then here I was kind of like, oh, should we try it? And then, oh, right away I was like, no, it just completely disappears. However, better safe than sorry, right? So always try all your different designs. You don't have to pick the first one that you decide on. And if you're having trouble deciding which one looks the best, take photos of them and then compare them one to another or one after the other. It is a super simple and easy way to kind of help you decide what you actually want to do with your designs. So for here, I did realize actually that I managed to smudge my top layer of the white birthday. So I cut out another one. Yes, I know. And I added this on top to make sure that it was clean and white and bright white. And then on my second card, I just glued down the birthday as it was. Super clean, very white space. I have a big problem with this. I am trying so hard to step outside of my comfort zone, which is lots of colors, lots of layers, lots of textures, lots of bling. Oh, and it's very hard for me, but I am trying. I am really trying. However, you can't just say birthday on a card. We wanted to say happy birthday. So I'm finishing these off very simple with a heat embossed in gold happy, so that it says happy birthday on both of the card fronts. And I chose gold embossing rather than black ink because I wanted to still kind of keep it very muted and simple. So here are the 3 cards next to each other. I have used 1 stencil, 2 colors, 1 word die cut, and 2 stamp sets or 2 sentiments for the cards themselves. And with that, I am all done for today. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out the Mosaic Maze Stencil along with the other 5 that have been just recently released. And I will see you soon again. Bye for now.